My precious child, this is not a coincidence. This is not random. This is not just another video on your screen. This is an emergency from heaven. God says, I am calling your name right now, but this message will disappear soon. It is very, very urgent. Open this immediately by 11:57 p.m. before it's too late. Don't skip God. There are moments in life when heaven interrupts the ordinary. This is one of those moments. You were scrolling. You were thinking about something else. Maybe you were tired. Maybe you were distracted. But suddenly, this message appeared. And now you feel something inside you, a pull, a pause, a strange stillness. That is not an accident. Heaven does not shout without reason. When God sends an emergency call, it is because something is shifting in the unseen realm. Something is aligning. Something is about to break, either for your protection or for your promotion. And tonight, before 11:57 p.m., there is a divine appointment with your name on it. You may be asking, why the urgency? Why now? Because there is a window open in the Spirit, and windows do not stay open forever. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior and protector in times of spiritual urgency. When heaven releases an alert, he moves with precision. He guards. He clears obstacles. He exposes hidden threats. And right now, there is movement around you that you cannot fully see. God is calling your name because there has been interference. Someone has been speaking against your destiny in silence. Not openly, not loudly, but in subtle ways. Words whispered, doubts planted, energy shifted. You felt it, didn't you? The heaviness, the confusion, the delay that made no sense. It was not just bad luck. It was resistance. But listen carefully. Resistance only shows up when something powerful is about to be born. Heaven is not panicking. Heaven is responding. And you must respond too. Here is something about 11:57 p.m. It represents the final moments before a shift, before midnight, before a new spiritual cycle begins. In the last minutes of an old hour, decisions carry weight. Attention carries power. Obedience carries reward. God is saying, I am calling your name right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. You may feel unworthy. You may feel unprepared. You may feel like you have made too many mistakes. But understand this. God does not issue emergency calls to the unimportant. If your name is being called, it means you matter in the next move. Something is about to be exposed. Not to harm you, but to protect you. There is truth that must surface. There is clarity that must come. There is deception that cannot continue. Archangel Michael is already positioned like a shield around your household. There has been spiritual pressure near your home. Small arguments. Strange misunderstandings. Unexpected tension. These are not random waves. They are signs of something being stirred. But hear this clearly. What is being stirred will not destroy you. It will reveal what was hidden. And revelation is mercy. This message feels urgent because time-sensitive decisions are attached to it. Before 11:57 p.m., you are being asked to pause, to listen, to line your heart, to pray, to declare protection over your space. Do not treat this lightly. When heaven says, open this immediately, it is not about fear. It is about positioning. It is about awareness. It is about spiritual timing. The enemy works quietly, but God announces his protection loudly. You are not being warned because you are in danger. You are being warned because you are chosen. Chosen people receive alerts before attacks. Chosen people receive clarity before confusion spreads. Chosen people are awakened before others even realize something is happening. And tonight, your awakening matters. Do not let distraction steal this moment. Do not let doubt convince you this is random. You felt something when you read the title. A spark. A curiosity. Attention. That was your spirit recognizing a call. Before 11:57 p.m., speak this quietly. God, I am here. I am listening. I will not ignore your call. You do not need long prayers. You need sincerity. There is protection being activated. There is exposure being prepared. There is a shift being arranged. And the reason this message feels intense is because what is coming next in your life is not small. The next 24 hours will carry signs. Pay attention to conversations. Pay attention to sudden realizations. Pay attention to what surfaces unexpectedly. It will not be chaos. It will be confirmation. Archangel Michael is not sent for minor adjustments. He is sent for strategic defense and breakthrough moments. If his presence is mentioned in your spirit tonight, it means something significant is unfolding behind the scenes. Do not panic. Do not fear. Just respond. Heaven is calling your name, and heaven does not repeat emergency calls forever. This message will not linger. This window will not stay open indefinitely. That is why the urgency is real. Before 11:57 p.m., choose alignment over distraction. Choose prayer over scrolling. Choose awareness over indifference. Because once the clock shifts, the next phase begins, and you will either step into it prepared or confused. You were not meant to be confused. You were meant to be covered. The call has gone out. Your name was spoken. The alert has been delivered. Now the question is, will you answer? Beloved soul, the urgency you felt was not created by emotion. It was triggered by divine timing. There is a reason heaven emphasized 11:57 p.m. When God marks a time, it is not superstition. It is symbolism. It represents the final seconds before something irreversible shifts. And what is shifting around you is not small. Since you opened this message, something has already begun to move. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can sense it in your spirit. There is a tightening in the atmosphere, as if something hidden is being pressured to surface. That pressure is not against you. It is for you. God is calling your name because there has been silent interference in your progress. Plans delayed without explanation. Opportunities that almost came through but then faded. Strange misunderstandings that created distance between you and someone important. You blamed yourself. You questioned your worth. But heaven says the delay was not rejection. It was protection. Archangel Michael has been assigned to stand guard at a spiritual doorway connected to your life. There was something trying to enter prematurely. Something that looked good on the outside but carried confusion inside. And before it could fully attach itself to your path, heaven issued this emergency call. You were meant to see this. There is also a truth about your household that must be acknowledged. The atmosphere inside your home has been fluctuating. Some days it feels peaceful. Other days it feels tense without reason. This inconsistency is not random. When destiny is near acceleration, resistance tries to create distraction. But distraction only works if you ignore the alert. God says, I am calling your name right now. That means this is personal, not general. Not symbolic, personal. Your name has been spoken in the spiritual realm. And when God speaks your name, angels respond. Before 11:57 p.m., you are being asked to do something simple yet powerful. Create a moment of stillness, even if it is just 2 minutes. Turn off noise. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart and say, Lord, remove what is not meant for me. Expose what is hidden. Align me with your protection. When you say that sincerely, movement begins. Do not underestimate obedience in small windows of time. Some people miss their breakthrough because they treat divine nudges as optional. But you are not here by accident. You felt the urgency because your spirit recognized the voice. And let me say something clearly. This channel exists to deliver messages like this without compromise. If you value prophetic clarity, if you feel this message is stirring something real in you, then show it. Like this video so it reaches others who need this warning. Share it with someone who has been feeling delayed or confused. Comment your agreement below as a declaration of alignment. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this growing spiritual family. If your heart is ready to go deeper, join the membership and stand with this mission. Your engagement is not just support, it spreads awareness. There are others right now who although scrolled away from their own emergency call. Your action can redirect them. And hear this carefully. What happens next will confirm everything you are sensing. There will be a small sign, a conversation, a realization, a piece of information that suddenly makes sense. When it happens, do not dismiss it as coincidence. Archangel Michael moves strategically. When exposure happens, it is precise. It does not create chaos. It reveals clarity. You will see something clearly that you once doubted. The urgency before 11:57 p.m. is about positioning. After that time, the shift begins. It does not mean disaster. It means movement. And movement without preparation can feel overwhelming. So prepare your heart. Tonight is not about fear. It is about alignment. There is something trying to lose access to you. Something that once had influence over your emotions is weakening. That is why tension has increased recently. When control slips away, it reacts. But heaven is not concerned. Heaven is orchestrating. You are being guarded. And this next revelation will not just protect you, it will elevate you. Hold on, because what is about to unfold will connect pieces you never imagined were related. The next layer of this message will expose why your name was called at this exact hour, and you will understand why missing this moment would have cost you clarity. Chosen one, what you are about to understand is the reason heaven refused to stay silent. The urgency was not only about protection, it was about exposure. There is something that has been operating quietly around your life, and God is saying the time for hidden influence is ending. You have sensed it for weeks, maybe even months. A subtle shift in behavior from someone close to you. Words that felt slightly off. Support that seemed conditional. Smiles that did not fully reach the eyes. You tried to ignore it because you value peace. You told yourself you were overthinking. But the Spirit kept nudging you. This is why your name was called. When God calls you urgently, it is often because you are too trusting in a season that requires discernment. Your heart is good. You see the best in people. But heaven sees what you cannot see. And right now, there is something being uncovered. Archangel Michael does not move without purpose. His presence signals that truth is about to confront deception. Not dramatically, not publicly at first, but quietly, clearly, unmistakably. Information will surface. A contradiction will reveal itself. A conversation will expose what was once hidden. Do not be afraid of this exposure. It is not meant to break your heart. It is meant to guard your future. There has been an assignment to distract you from your next level. Subtle discouragement, small delays, emotional confusion that made you doubt your instincts. But heaven is cutting through that fog tonight. Before 11:57 p.m., the alignment begins. After that hour, clarity will accelerate. You may notice dreams becoming vivid. You may wake up with sudden understanding. You may feel prompted to check something you previously ignored. Follow that prompting. It is not paranoia. It is divine awareness. God is not removing people randomly. He is revealing intentions. And here is the deeper truth. This exposure is connected to your elevation. The next opportunity coming into your life requires a clear environment. It requires trust that is pure. It requires partnerships that are genuine. What is misaligned cannot travel with you into what is next. That is why this message felt so urgent. You are stepping into a season where small compromises will have large consequences. So heaven intervened early. This is mercy. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior not only against external threats but against internal confusion. You have questioned yourself too much. You have doubted your own discernment. But tonight, your spiritual senses are being sharpened. You will no longer ignore red flags disguised as normal behavior. There is also a financial shift near you. Something connected to resources, stability, or a decision about money will soon require clarity. Do not rush it. Wait for confirmation. The same exposure happening in relationships will also reveal truth in practical matters. The emergency call was not dramatic language. It was precise timing. And now you must respond with intention. Before you sleep tonight, speak this aloud. Lord, I receive your protection. I welcome truth. I release fear. When you say it, mean it. You are not losing anything valuable. You are being separated from what could have slowed you down. The next 48 hours will carry confirmation. Watch closely. A small detail will stand out. A pattern will become obvious. A sentence someone says will suddenly connect dots in your mind. When it happens, do not confront immediately. Observe first. Let clarity fully form. Archangel Michael clears paths strategically. He does not rush unnecessary battles. Remember, exposure is not punishment. It is protection. And protection means you are chosen for something greater. If this message is resonating deeply, if you feel the stirring of truth inside you, then respond prophetically. Type, "Truth is rising" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 741 has just been released. Now hear this as a continuation of what heaven is doing. When truth rises, light must spread. And this mission to release urgent calls from God is not sustained by algorithms alone. It is sustained by obedience. It is sustained by those who recognize divine timing and choose to partner with it. The Lord says, when you sow into light, you reap revelation. This is not about supporting a channel. This is about fueling a river that reaches thirsty souls. Every super thanks, every membership, every seed sown through the PayPal link in the description becomes oil in the lamp of someone who is about to give up. I feel led to say this clearly. As you give, you are not losing. You are planting into open heavens. The same God who exposes deception around you multiplies provision within you. This is your moment to act in alignment. Do not hesitate. Do not delay obedience. If this message protected you, then strengthen the flow of protection for others. Release your seed. Join the membership. Send your support through Super Thanks or PayPal as an act of faith. Let your giving become a declaration. I stand with the light. And as you move, may doors open before you. May hidden traps dissolve. May clarity increase. May Archangel Michael guard your household. What you release in faith will return in harvest. Act now. Faithful one, now that truth has begun to rise, the atmosphere around you will start to feel different. Not chaotic, not unstable, but charge you. Like the air before a storm that cleanses the sky, you may feel moments of sudden clarity followed by moments of silence. Do not mistake the silence for absence. Silence is often where divine strategy is finalized. Something has already shifted since you first heard this message. The layer of illusion has thinned. You may not have all the answers yet, but your intuition feels stronger. That is not imagination. That is alignment. When God issues an emergency call, it is never isolated to one event. It is connected to a sequence. And you are in the middle of that sequence right now. There is a conversation approaching you. It may seem casual on the surface, but it will carry revelation. Words will be spoken that expose motive. Tone will reveal intention. Pay attention not only to what is said, but how it is said. Archangel Michael does not only fight battles you can see. He sharpens your perception so you recognize what others overlook. You have been too patient in one situation. You kept giving chances. You kept hoping behavior would adjust. But heaven is showing you that repeated patterns are not accidents. They are indicators. This does not mean you must react with anger. It means you must respond with wisdom. There is also a door you have been considering walking through. A decision that feels promising but uncertain. You asked for a sign. This message is part of that sign. If confusion surrounds the opportunity, wait. If peace confirms it, move. The emergency was not meant to push you into panic. It was meant to awaken discernment. Over the next few days, you will notice who celebrates your clarity and who resists it. That response will tell you everything. When light increases, shadows become visible. Some people are comfortable when you doubt yourself. They are unsettled when you stand firm. Do not shrink to maintain comfort for others. You were not called to stay small. Archangel Michael's presence in your life right now is not symbolic language. It represents divine enforcement. It represents boundaries being reinforced around your destiny. What tried to linger without permission is losing ground. You may also experience a sudden urge to clean, rearrange, or organize your physical space. Do not ignore it. Physical alignment often reflects spiritual preparation. As you clear clutter, you are signaling readiness for new movement. There is an elevation coming that requires emotional maturity. Exposure was the first step. Stabilization is the second. Do not gossip about what you are discovering. Do not broadcast your suspicions. Let truth unfold naturally. When revelation is rushed, it loses its power. When it unfolds in timing, it becomes undeniable. You are entering a season where discernment will protect your energy. Not everyone deserves full access to your plans. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Silence can be strength. And here is something you must hear clearly. The urgency of 11:57 p.m. was about alignment before acceleration. Now that alignment has begun, the acceleration will follow. It may feel subtle at first. Small confirmations. Unexpected support from unlikely places. Sudden resolution of a minor issue that had been lingering. These are signs that the shift is active. There is also healing attached to this exposure. You have carried disappointment quietly. You pretended certain things did not hurt as much as they did. But when truth surfaces, healing can begin honestly. Do not fear what is being revealed. Fear only what remains hidden too long. Heaven intervened because your next chapter requires clarity. The people who walk with you forward must walk in sincerity. Anything less would weaken what is being built. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that protection is already in motion. You do not have to fight every battle yourself. Some battles dissolve when truth appears. Stay observant. Stay calm. Stay aligned. The next development will not come with noise. It will come with confirmation. A moment where you quietly say, "Now I understand." When that moment arrives, you will realize this emergency call was mercy in disguise. Prepare your heart for strengthening. Prepare your spirit for confidence. Prepare your life for refinement. Because what is leaving is making space, and what is coming requires you clear-minded, steady, and aware. The sequence continues. Steady heart. What is happening around you now is the settling after divine intervention. When heaven steps in urgently, the first impact feels intense. But after exposure begins and clarity rises, there is a quieter phase. This is where many people misunderstand the process. They think nothing is happening because it no longer feels dramatic. But this phase is critical. You are in the strengthening stage. The confusion that once clouded your thoughts is thinning. The emotional weight that pressed on you is lifting slowly, layer by layer. You may not be celebrating yet, but you are no longer drowning in doubt. That shift alone is evidence that the emergency call was effective. There is something important you must recognize. Not everyone will understand your new awareness. When your perception sharpens, your tolerance changes. You will begin to notice patterns faster. You will respond differently. You will not over-explain yourself the way you used to. And that will surprise people. Some will test your boundaries to see if you truly changed. Some will subtly challenge your decisions. But this is where your growth becomes visible. Do not fall back into old reactions just to keep peace. Real peace is built on truth, not avoidance. Archangel Michael's covering around you right now is about reinforcement. Think of it like invisible armor being adjusted to fit your new level. What once pierced you emotionally will now bounce off with less impact. Words that once lingered in your mind will lose their power faster. You are becoming harder to manipulate. That is not arrogance. That is maturity. There is also a personal revelation forming within you. It is not about others. It is about you. A realization about your own worth. A recognition that you have tolerated less than you deserved in certain areas. This awareness will not make you bitter. It will make you selective. Selective about your time. Selective about your energy. Selective about who gets close access to your inner world. This shift is necessary for what is approaching. Because something is approaching. A new opportunity, a connection, or a responsibility will soon come into your path. And this time, you will evaluate it differently. You will not be blinded by excitement. You will look for consistency. You will listen for integrity. You will feel for peace. The emergency message was not only about removing interference. It was about preparing you for discernment in what comes next. There may still be one final piece of information that surfaces. It will not shock you the way it might have weeks ago. Instead, it will confirm what your spirit already sensed. When that confirmation comes, do not react emotionally. Simply acknowledge it and adjust accordingly. This is strategic living. You are learning that divine protection does not always remove people instantly. Sometimes it reveals them gradually so your wisdom develops. There is also an internal healing taking place. You may feel a desire to forgive without confrontation, not because the behavior was acceptable, but because you refuse to carry the weight of resentment. That is strength. Archangel Michael's role in your life right now is not about visible battles. It is about unseen reinforcement. He stands guard while you rebuild confidence. He ensures that what was exposed does not regain influence. Pay attention to your dreams in this season. Messages may come symbolically. You may see doors, keys, light, or even familiar faces acting strangely. These are not random. They are your spirit processing truth. Do not ignore your intuition anymore. You have underestimated how accurate it can be when you are calm. Another shift is coming, but this one will feel empowering instead of urgent. It will not demand your attention. It will invite your participation. You will feel ready instead of pressured. That readiness is the result of obedience to the emergency call. Look back at how you felt before this message. Refuse it. Heavy. Unsure. Now compare it to how you feel in this moment. More aware. More steady. More clear. That is transformation in progress. You are no longer reacting to life blindly. You are observing, discerning, and choosing. And that choice changes everything. The foundation beneath you is becoming solid. What once felt unstable is stabilizing. The noise is decreasing. The truth is standing. Hold your posture. Guard your peace. Continue aligning with clarity. Because what is about to enter your life will require this stronger version of you. The sequence is unfolding exactly as it was meant to. And you are no longer behind. You are precisely where you need to be. Courageous spirit, the next phase is not about exposure. It is about elevation. Now that interference has been weakened and clarity has strengthened you, heaven is shifting your focus forward. What was urgent has stabilized. What was hidden has surfaced. Now something new is preparing to enter your path. But elevation always tests readiness. You may feel an increase in responsibility soon. A request. An invitation. An opportunity that requires you to step up in a way you have not before. It will not look overwhelming at first. In fact, it may appear simple, but do not underestimate it. This is connected to the very reason heaven intervened earlier. You are being positioned. Archangel Michael's role now transitions from guarding against interference to clearing pathways for advancement. Protection was the first assignment. Preparation was the second. Advancement is the third. You will notice that certain doors that once felt locked are no longer resisting you. Conversations flow more smoothly. Delays shorten. Responses come quicker. This is not coincidence. It is momentum being restored. However, elevation brings visibility, and visibility requires confidence. There may still be moments when your old doubts whisper, asking if you are truly ready. That voice is residue from the previous season. Do not entertain it. You have already been refined through exposure and clarity. You are not stepping forward blindly. You are stepping forward aware. Something significant is aligning in your professional or financial sphere. A decision about money, work, or stability will soon demand discernment again. But this time, you will not feel confused. You will weigh the options calmly. You will sense what aligns with your peace, and you will choose differently than you would have before. This is growth in action. You are also entering a season where your words carry greater influence. People will listen more closely when you speak. Your advice will be sought. Your presence will matter. Do not shrink from this responsibility. It is not pride to acknowledge your development. It is maturity. Archangel Michael stands not only as a warrior, but as a reminder that authority can be exercised with integrity. Strength does not require aggression. Confidence does not require noise. As you step into this elevated space, remember what you learned during the emergency. Discernment protects progress. Boundaries preserve peace. Silence can be strategic. There will be a moment soon when you realize how close you were to making a decision that would have slowed this entire advancement. That realization will humble you. It will also make you grateful that you responded to the call in time. And let this be said clearly. If this message has been guiding you, if it has sharpened your awareness and strengthened your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so others who are on the edge of confusion can receive clarity. Share it with someone who needs divine direction right now. Comment your agreement as a declaration of alignment. Subscribe to this channel if you are serious about staying connected to messages that guard and guide your destiny. Join the membership if you feel called to go deeper and stand in partnership with this mission. Your engagement is not about numbers. It is about impact. There are souls one message away from awakening, and your action extends the reach. As you continue listening, understand this. The next revelation will not feel urgent. It will feel empowering. It will confirm that you have transitioned from defense to movement. You are no longer reacting to hidden forces. You are moving intentionally toward visible growth. Watch for a sign of validation. It may come as unexpected encouragement. Someone acknowledging your effort. An opportunity appearing without struggle. These are indicators that the path is clear. Elevation also brings separation. Not dramatic separation, but natural distance from environments that no longer fit your growth. You will feel less drawn to certain conversations, less interested in old patterns. That is not loss. That is alignment. Trust this shift. You have been guarded. You have been warned. You have been strengthened. Now you are being advanced. Hold your composure. Keep your spirit steady. Because what is unfolding next will confirm that the emergency from heaven was not about fear. It was about acceleration. And what is coming will require the confident version of you. Stay with this journey, because what unfolds next connects everything you have experienced so far in a way you will not expect. Steadfast one, you are now entering the phase where everything begins to connect. What once felt like separate events will start forming a clear pattern. The emergency call, the exposure, the strengthening, the elevation, none of it was random. It was a sequence designed to reposition you. There is a realization coming that will tie together the delays you experienced earlier this year. You thought certain doors closed because you were not qualified enough. You assumed certain relationships shifted because you did something wrong. But soon you will see that many of those disruptions were divine redirections. When heaven interrupts your timeline, it is not to punish you. It is to preserve you. Archangel Michael's presence around your life has not been dramatic, but it has been consistent. Quiet protection, subtle redirection, gentle pressure steering you away from unseen complications. And now, because you responded to the call instead of ignoring it, you are beginning to walk on clearer ground. This clarity will affect how you handle conflict. Instead of reacting emotionally, you will pause. Instead of defending yourself immediately, you will observe. This change will surprise people who expected the old version of you. The old version reacted quickly. The new version responds wisely. There is also an emotional healing taking place that you may not have consciously acknowledged. You are less triggered by things that once disturbed you deeply. That is evidence of growth. When peace, becomes your default instead of anxiety. You know alignment has settled in. However, do not assume that growth means comfort at all times. There will be a brief moment of testing. Not a crisis, but a situation that checks whether you truly learn discernment. It may involve someone reappearing with familiar patterns, or an opportunity that looks attractive but carries subtle warning signs. This is where you prove to yourself that you have changed. You will recognize the red flag faster this time. You will feel the hesitation clearly. And instead of doubting your intuition, you will trust it. That decision will mark a turning point, because after that, acceleration increases. You are stepping into a space where your environment becomes more aligned with your purpose. Conversations feel purposeful. Collaborations feel clean. Ideas flow more freely. The heaviness that once surrounded you will no longer dominate your atmosphere. Archangel Michael's assignment shifts again here. It becomes less about guarding against interference and more about reinforcing your authority. You are not just protected. You are positioned. There is something about your name being called earlier that you are only now starting to understand. It was not simply about avoiding danger. It was about activating identity. When God calls your name, He reminds you who you are. You are not small. You are not accidental. You are not behind. You are timed. The urgency before 11:57 p.m. symbolized the final seconds of an outdated version of yourself. And you responded. That response changed the trajectory of what follows. In the coming days, expect affirmation. Not flattery, but genuine acknowledgement of your capability. Someone may express trust in you in a way that feels significant. Do not brush it off. Receive it. Your growth is visible. There will also be a financial insight that surfaces. Perhaps a new way to manage resources. Perhaps a chance to invest time or energy more wisely. This insight will not come through pressure. It will come through calm understanding. You are thinking more clearly now, and clarity attracts stability. One thing you must guard carefully is your confidence. When things begin improving, there is sometimes a temptation to revisit what you escaped from, just to confirm you made the right choice. Do not revisit old confusion for validation. You already have confirmation. Stay forward-facing. There is momentum building. Not loud momentum, but steady momentum. The kind that does not fade quickly. The kind that carries you into sustainable progress. You may even notice your sleep improving. Your breathing calmer. Your reactions slower. These are signs that your nervous system is no longer on constant alert. Protection has replaced anxiety. And as this alignment settles deeper, a new sense of anticipation will rise in you. Not fear of what might go wrong, but curiosity about what might go right. That shift in expectation changes everything. Because when you expect growth instead of disruption, you begin moving differently. You take action with confidence. You speak with clarity. You choose with intention. The emergency from heaven was never about alarming you. It was about awakening you. And now that you are awake, the path ahead is becoming clearer with each step. What unfolds next will not surprise you. It will affirm you. Stay steady. The sequence continues, and it is leading you toward stability you once doubted was possible. Awakened one, you have crossed a threshold. The urgency that once surrounded you has transformed into authority within you. This is the moment where you stop feeling like something is happening to you and start realizing something is happening through you. The emergency from heaven was not just a warning. It was an activation. There is a noticeable shift in your posture now. Not physically alone, but spiritually. You carry yourself differently. You think before reacting. You sense before deciding. You speak with intention instead of impulse. This is not accidental growth. It is cultivated awareness. Archangel Michael's presence around your life now feels less like a shield in crisis and more like a guardian of your territory. You are not under threat the way you once felt. Instead, you are being established. Established in confidence. Established in discernment. Established in peace. However, establishment always brings responsibility. Now that you see clearly, you cannot pretend you do not. Now that you sense patterns, you cannot ignore them. And now that your name hath been called and you responded, you cannot return to passive living. There is something unfolding in your environment that requires your steady influence. A conversation will arise where your calm perspective changes the direction of tension. Someone may approach you for advice, sensing stability in you. This is not coincidence. This is evidence that your internal shift is visible externally. You have become a stabilizing presence. There is also a subtle opportunity emerging that may not look dramatic but carries long-term significance. It could be related to work, collaboration, or even a new learning path. Do not overlook small beginnings. What appears minor now could become foundational later. Remember, the emergency was about alignment before acceleration. Now acceleration is beginning quietly. You may also notice that certain individuals who once seemed distant are observing you differently. Some may even try to reconnect. Discern their intentions carefully. Growth attracts attention. Not all attention is alignment. This is where your refined discernment matters most. There is peace available to you now that was not accessible before. Not because your circumstances are perfect, but because your awareness is sharper. Peace rooted in clarity is stronger than peace built on avoidance. Archangel Michael stands not just to defend you, but to remind you that you are authorized to protect your own boundaries. You no longer need external confirmation to trust your instincts. And here is something important. As your life stabilizes, you will feel a desire to help others find similar clarity. That desire is not random. It is purpose surfacing. The message you received was not meant to stop with you. If this awakening has strengthened you, if the emergency from heaven repositioned your thinking and guarded your path, then respond in agreement. Type "I walk in clarity" in the comments if this resonates deeply with your spirit. Blessing code 963 has just been activated over your path. Now hear this as an extension of that activation. When clarity spreads, light multiplies. And this mission to release urgent, protective messages does not move forward by silence. It moves forward through partnership. The Lord declares, "Those who sow into truth will harvest stability." This is not a request rooted in need. It is an invitation rooted in impact. When you release a super thanks, when you join the membership, when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content. You are fueling a lifeline for someone on the edge of confusion. First person declaration: I will not let this light stop with me. Your seed becomes oil in another person's lamp. Your support becomes a shield for someone who almost ignored their own emergency call. Heaven sees alignment in action. And when you move in obedience, provision meets you. Do not delay this response. Let your giving be prophetic. Let it declare that you stand with the spread of clarity. Join the membership. Release your super thanks. Sow through PayPal as an act of alignment. And as you do, may your household remain guarded. May your decisions remain clear. May your path remain stable. What you release into this mission will return to you strengthened. Act now with intention. The sequence is not ending. It is expanding. and you are no longer simply protected. You are positioned to influence. Resolute 1. What you are experiencing now is the settling of authority within your spirit. The noise that once tried to dominate your thoughts has weakened. The urgency that once demanded your attention has transformed into awareness that guides your decisions. You are no longer reacting to hidden pressure. You are responding from grounded clarity. This is the stage where confidence becomes quiet and steady. You may notice that situations which once intimidated you now feel manageable. Conversations that once made you anxious now feel navigable. This is not because challenges disappeared. It is because your perception changed. When perception sharpens, fear loses its grip. There is something important unfolding beneath the surface. A long-standing cycle in your life is closing. It may not be dramatic, but it is definitive. A pattern of overgiving, over-explaining, or overextending yourself is losing influence. You are no longer trying to prove your value. You understand it. That understanding is powerful. Archangel Michael's presence around your journey now feels less like urgent defense and more like strategic oversight. The battles that required intervention have passed. What remains is structure, stability, guarded advancement. You are becoming consistent. Consistency is what builds lasting success. Not emotional spikes, not sudden bursts of motivation, but steady, deliberate action rooted in clarity. That is what you are developing now. There will be a moment soon when someone tests your boundary indirectly. Not aggressively, but subtly. They may ask for more than you can give. They may try to reintroduce an old dynamic. Watch how easily you respond this time. You will not feel guilty for saying no. You will not feel pressure to justify yourself. This is growth made visible. There is also a creative or intellectual spark rising within you. An idea that has been quietly forming may begin to demand attention. Do not dismiss it. The emergency from heaven did not only protect you from interference, it created space for innovation. When distractions are removed, inspiration can breathe. Give that idea time. Explore it. Write it down. Speak it aloud. It carries more weight than you realize. You may also feel drawn to restructure your daily routine. Small adjustments in how you spend your time will create significant results over the next few months. Pay attention to habits. What once drained you will now feel unnecessary. What once felt difficult will now feel natural. This is alignment maturing. One of the greatest confirmations that you responded correctly to the divine call is this. You feel lighter without losing seriousness. You feel hopeful without ignoring reality. You feel alert without feeling anxious. That balance is rare. Archangel Michael's assignment around you now is not about fighting visible threats. It is about reinforcing order, ensuring that what was cleared does not return, strengthening the borders of your peace. Guard your environment carefully. Not everyone deserves access to your renewed energy. Choose your conversations wisely. Protect your time intentionally. There is also a relational shift solidifying. Someone who once felt unpredictable is either becoming consistent or fading naturally from your inner circle. Do not force either outcome. What aligns will remain. What does not will release. Trust this sorting process. Financially, you may sense an opportunity to stabilize something that once felt unstable. Perhaps a plan to save differently. Perhaps a chance to restructure responsibility. Act thoughtfully. Do not rush. You are no longer operating from urgency, so do not reintroduce it artificially. Patience now multiplies reward later. You have also developed a deeper respect for your own intuition. Where you once second-guessed yourself, you now pause and listen. That pause is powerful. In that silence, wisdom forms. The emergency that began this journey was about calling your name before confusion expanded. Now you are living in the clarity that followed obedience. Soon, there will be a visible confirmation of your advancement. It may be small on the surface, but internally it will feel significant. It will be a moment where you think, "This is different. I am different." And you will be right. You are not in survival mode anymore. You are in stewardship mode. Managing your peace. Managing your growth. Managing your future. The sequence continues, but it no longer feels urgent. It feels intentional. And that is the true sign that heaven's intervention accomplished its purpose in you. Focused one. You are now standing in a place that once felt unreachable. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything inside you is ordered. The emergency that once shook your attention has matured into discipline. A warning that once felt intense has transformed into wisdom. This is where many people become complacent. They feel relief and assume the work is finished. But this stage is not the end. It is the strengthening of endurance. There is a new level of responsibility forming around you. You may notice that people begin to rely on you more. Your opinion may carry unexpected weight. Decisions may circle back to you for confirmation. This is not pressure. This is promotion. Promotion does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as trust. Archangel Michael's presence in your journey now feels like reinforcement of authority. The battles that once required defense have prepared you for leadership. You are no longer the one trying to escape confusion. You are the one guiding others through it. But leadership requires consistency. There may be a temptation soon to relax your boundaries because things feel calmer. Do not lower your guard. Peace must be maintained intentionally. The very discernment that protected you must continue to guide you. An opportunity may present itself that tests your discipline. It may look rewarding but require you to compromise a principle you recently strengthened. Pause before answering. Remember what clarity cost you. Remember the exposure that awakened you. Growth must be protected. You are also entering a season where your voice carries influence beyond what you can see. Something you say casually may impact someone deeply. Something you share may redirect another person's decision. This is why your alignment matters. You have been positioned not only for your own stability, but for impact. And if these messages have been guiding you, if they have sharpened your awareness and strengthened your confidence, do not treat them lightly. Like this video so it reaches someone standing at their own 11:57 p.m. moment. Share it with a friend who has been sensing confusion but cannot explain it. Comment your declaration of clarity below as a sign that you are walking in alignment. Subscribe to this channel if you are serious about remaining connected to messages that guard and advance your destiny. Join the membership if you feel called to stand consistently with this mission. Your action multiplies reach. Your engagement expands impact. There are individuals one message away from missing their own emergency call. Your support ensures they hear it in time. Stay attentive, because what unfolds next will require your maturity. There may be a conversation where someone tries to challenge your growth indirectly. They may reference who you used to be. Do not defend your past. Simply embody your present. Your transformation speaks for itself. Financial stability will also continue to solidify. A wise decision made recently will begin showing subtle results. You may not see dramatic change overnight, but you will sense momentum building. Continue moving carefully. Steady progress outlasts sudden gain. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that authority must remain humble. The strength you carry now is not for domination. It is for protection and guidance. There will also be a moment of reflection soon. You will look back at the urgency that started this sequence and feel gratitude instead of fear. You will realize that what felt intense was actually intervention. Do not rush forward impatiently. Allow each development to mature fully. Impatience can reintroduce chaos where peace hath been established. You are no longer operating from reaction. You are operating from strategy. And strategy requires patience. The next revelation will connect your growth to a broader purpose. You will begin to understand that this journey was never only about personal protection. It was about preparation for influence. Keep listening carefully. The final layers of this sequence will reveal why your name was called with such urgency and what long-term impact that call was designed to create. Hold your focus. What comes next will bring everything into completion. Anchored soul, you are approaching completion of a cycle that began with urgency and is ending with authority. When the emergency call first reached you, it felt intense, almost alarming. And now, as you stand in this moment, you can see that it was not meant to frighten you. It was meant to awaken you. There is a deep internal stability settling within you now. You are not easily shaken the way you once were. Situations that previously would have triggered doubt now pass through your mind without dominating it. This is not emotional numbness. It is emotional discipline. You have learned how to pause. And pause has become your power. Archangel Michael's role around your life at this stage is not dramatic. It is steady oversight, like a guardian ensuring that what was restored remains protected. You are no longer in a season of emergency intervention. You are in a season of maintained authority. There is something significant about this transition. When a person moves from crisis response to strategic living, their entire trajectory changes. You are not reacting to problems anymore. You are anticipating solutions. You may notice that your conversations have changed. You are less interested in gossip, less engaged in negativity, more focused on growth and direction. Some people may feel the distance. Let them. Growth often creates separation from what once felt normal. There is also a new respect forming around you. Even those who doubted you are beginning to observe quietly. They may not say it openly, but they recognize the shift. Your consistency has become visible. Soon, there will be a defining moment. It may be subtle, but it will feel significant. A decision where you choose wisdom over impulse without hesitation. In that moment, you will realize how far you have come. You will not need external validation. You will feel it internally. This journey was never just about avoiding a mistake. It was about reshaping your discernment. It was about strengthening your boundaries. It was about preparing you for influence that requires stability. There is a broader purpose unfolding that you are only beginning to understand. The clarity you received was not meant to stay private. It was meant to position you as someone others can rely on. Whether in your family, your workplace, or your community, your presence now carries steadiness. That is not accidental. Archangel Michael's involvement symbolized protection, but it also symbolized responsibility. Protection creates space. Responsibility fills that space with purpose. You may soon be placed in a situation where someone looks to you for guidance during their confusion. Do not underestimate the impact of your calm response. Remember how it felt when urgency surrounded you. Remember the relief that clarity brought. Offer that same steadiness to others. Financially and professionally, you are stabilizing in ways that will compound over time. The small discipline choices you are making now will produce larger results later. Continue this path. Do not seek shortcuts. You are no longer searching for immediate rescue. You are building lasting strength. There is one final realization approaching. You will understand that the 11:57 p.m. emergency symbolized the closing of an old identity. The version of you that tolerated confusion, that ignored intuition, that doubted your discernment, that version expired. You stepped into awareness before midnight struck. And because you did, everything that followed aligned differently. As this sequence nears completion, take a moment to acknowledge your obedience. You did not scroll past the call. You did not dismiss the warning. You leaned in. You listened. You adjusted. That responsiveness changed your trajectory. There is peace in knowing that heaven intervened not because you were failing, but because you were chosen for greater responsibility. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay attentive. The final layer of this journey will seal everything you have experienced into one clear understanding. The emergency was not about fear of loss. It was about protection of purpose. Prepare your heart for closure and commissioning. What began as urgency is ending as authority. And what comes next will confirm that you were never late. You were precisely called at the right time. Beloved and chosen one, this is the sealing of what began as an emergency and has now become a commissioning. When you first heard the call, it felt urgent. It felt time-sensitive. It felt like something could be lost if you did not respond before 11:57 p.m. But now you understand the deeper truth. Nothing was sent to take from you. Everything was sent to align you. The urgency was about awakening your awareness before an old pattern repeated itself. The warning was about protecting your purpose before distraction delayed it again. And the timing was about closing a former version of you before it could reattach to your future. You are not the same person who first heard this message. You are clear. You are steadier. You are more disciplined. You are more aware of your intuition. You are less tolerant of confusion. That is transformation. Archangel Michael's presence throughout this journey symbolized divine enforcement around your destiny. When your name was called, heaven responded with protection. When interference tried to linger, it was exposed. When doubt tried to whisper, clarity replaced it. And now, as this sequence closes, what remains is strength. You have crossed from reaction into responsibility. There is a new confidence resting on you. It is not loud. It is not arrogant. It is calm and firm. You no longer need constant reassurance. You no longer chase validation. You understand alignment. Soon, there will be a visible marker of this shift. It may be an opportunity entrusted to you. It may be a conversation where someone acknowledges your growth. It may be an internal moment where you choose differently without struggle. When that moment happens, remember this journey. Remember the urgency. Remember the exposure. Remember the strengthening. Remember the elevation. Because that moment will confirm that the emergency from heaven was not a warning of destruction. It was an announcement of promotion. You were called because you are trusted with more. There is also a responsibility that comes with this awareness. When you recognize divine timing in your own life, you must respect it in others. Be attentive when someone around you feels urgency. Be patient when someone else is in their exposure phase. Offer the steadiness you have gained. Your clarity now has influence. Archangel Michael's assignment around you does not end here. Protection continues, but now it operates in partnership with your discernment. You are not dependent on emergency alerts anymore. You are living alert. That is maturity. As this journey seals, declare it boldly. Type "I answered the call" in the comments if you know this message met you at the right time. Blessing code 2024 is now released over your path, marking completion and new authority. Now hear this final word as an extension of everything heaven has done. The Lord says, when you respond to my call, I establish your steps. This mission exists so that others do not miss their 11:57 p.m. moment. Every urgent message released here is a lifeline for someone standing at the edge of confusion. First person declaration: I will not let this calling stop with me. When you release a super thanks, when you join the membership, when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a platform. You are extending a rescue. You are placing oil in lamps that are flickering. You are helping truth reach someone before their window closes. This is not casual giving. This is prophetic alignment. As you sow, heaven records it as obedience. As you partner with this mission, protection multiplies around your own household. The same God who called your name before midnight will guard your steps beyond it. Do not delay your response. Seal this moment with action. Join. To release your support now. Let your giving declare that you stand with the spread of divine urgency and clarity. And may your path remain guarded. May your discernment remain sharp. May your purpose remain protected. The call was answered, and you stepped into authority.